morning, campers. We're currently out in eastern Colorado. Specifically, I believe we are in Yuma County, near the city of Ray, W-R-A-Y, Ray, Colorado. We're headed eastbound on U.S. Highway 34. Today is the 2nd of November. I know what day it is. I'm getting better at actually saying what day it is in the recordings. That way when I upload them to YouTube, I don't have to like look up where I was and what day it was when I was in that place. See, I'm actually doing this for my benefit, less than yours, and so I can actually accurately title the episodes. November 2nd. We started this morning in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Picked up a load over in Fort Morgan, Colorado, which is on Interstate 76, northeast of Denver. But unfortunately, our destination is not on Interstate 80, so we're actually headed east on US 34, and we're going to cut down to Interstate 70 once we catch up to. There's a couple of different routes that you can use to get down to 70. There's US 385, which is a pretty good one. There's also Kansas Highway 27, which comes down into Hayes, which is the one we're going to be taking today, just because, you know, it's a little bit, honestly, I think 385 is probably the better choice, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, because I've done both, and 27 has lots of intersections, and 385 does not, and the speed limits on 385 are 65 and 27 or 70. I think the difference is like not enough to matter. Yeah, we're just gonna use 385. It's fine. Is that a turkey? That is multiple turkeys. Yeah? Yeah, those are turkeys. Hi, turkeys. La, 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 la. It's like 4 or 5 there. There was 3 on the right, and then there was a couple on the left. 1 on the left, maybe 4. Let's go with 4. There were 4 turkeys there. Dangerous time to be out for a turkey. Or maybe they're the smart turkeys that have gone in close to cities where they can't be shot. Because it is now November. It is now November. We are coming up on Thanksgiving. Hillbilly Heaven Family Dining, which appears to be a restaurant in a church. That's brilliant. Very clever. I think we're actually coming into the town of Ray now, which is where we will be turning on to US 385. So I've done both 385 and 27 before. 385, it's a little bit wider, and it's just a little bit, there's fewer intersections that we have to navigate. And it had a lot less farm traffic on it last time I did it. So I think it's got a lot of advantages over 27. Plus it feeds us into Kansas on Interstate 70 so that Kansas can't get mad at us for like trying to skip the scale or something. And 385 goes down to Burlington so I can stop and grab some food. The speed limit's still 65 through here, but I just turned off I just stopped applying the throttle like a mile and a half ago, and we're still not down to 50. And here the speed limit's dropping to 50, so it's perfect. We're just gonna keep coasting into town. Go Apophis, very good. Very fuel efficient. Fancy pants. So 385 is going to be a right turn up ahead. The only downside 385 has compared to 27 is it's got a pretty steep section. Which I think 27 has a couple of steep sections. It's been a little while since I did 27 because every other time I've done 385. 25 mile an hour. And we're going to be turning right right onto 385. Oh, no, we're going to be stopping at the intersection with 385. Correction. You can really tell this turn is made for trucks because it's cut very wide. There's nobody coming, so I'm just going to make the turn. Come on, buddy. We're a little heavy. We're a little bit heavy. A lot of bit heavy. Like 78,000 pounds. A lot of bit heavy. And poor Mr. Thomas is now upset because we're no longer following Thomas's route. Thomas will survive. Alright, 25. And that's not flashing, so I think we can actually go 35 now. Hi, you've just turned right in front of me. You should expedite your turn. Thank you. No, still 25. We're good. 25 is fine. 25 is plenty fast for a neighborhood. I do not need to do 35. It's also uphill, so I don't think I could do 35 if I wanted to. It's a lovely little town. Pumpkins and stuff still out from Halloween. Right lane. Me struggling up the hill. Beep, 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 beep. Hazard lights, hazard lights. The speed limit's still technically 35 here, but everyone's going to be accelerating up to 55 up the hill, and I can't, so I'm just going to hazard lights. Get the hazard lights out there in advance. Just to warn everyone behind me that I'm very slow. We've got, looks like a grain hauler coming up on my left. And I'll give him a chance to get by, so he's not stuck behind me all the way to Burlington. We'll probably appreciate that. Hello! That's not a grain hopper, that's, it's like a gravel hopper of some kind, like a walking floor. Yeah, those are rocks. Here's one going. Perfect timing for the one that was loaded to be going the opposite direction. Perfect timing. Yeah, big rocks. Big rocks. Cool. I saw a couple of those headed west. Huh. Wonder where they're coming out of. It must be like a quarry or something up here. I wonder what's in the rocks. Maybe it's like rock hopper or something. I don't think it's a copper mine. I don't think this is the right terrain for a copper mine, but you never really know. There's a pretty big copper mine near Salt Lake, and that's, so in my brain there's like, oh, copper's under mountains. Not so much out here under just whatever. But maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe there used to be mountains here. And the copper just got buried by whatever giant inland sea produced the Great Plains eons ago. Raining horses! Oh, it's horse training! Neat. It's a very, very niche industry. Alright, hazard lights off. Speed limit 65 that we can do now. Big windmill on my left. That's a weird looking windmill. Like normally the thing that goes behind the turbine blades is like shaped kind of like the body of an airplane, like the middle piece of the turbine, but the one on that one is just like a disc behind the turbine blades. Very strange. Very strange indeed. Because the ones that look like airplane bodies, they literally have a rudder on them, just like an airplane. So that's what causes the turbine to turn and face into the wind when the wind is blowing, is because it has that little piece on the back to pivot it pivots the windmill into the wind like a windsock, or well, more like a wind vane on an anemometer. like on the side of the road, like a little thing with cups on it that's just like spinning wildly in the breeze. Yeah, those are called anemometers. Not the most fun thing in meteorology as far as ometer names. There is this one gizmo called a sling psychrometer, which is just, that's like a great name, and it's such a lame thing. Like, compared to the name, it's not as interesting as the name. It's this little gizmo that you use to measure relative humidity, where it has a wick on it, and you get you moisten the wick, and then you spin the thing around so that some of the water evaporates, and that brings the temperature on that one down to the dew point as the water evaporates off of it. It's weird. There's much better ways to measure relative humidity now than actually using a sling psychrometer. But you got to do it in labs in college when you're learning weather stuff. So, and you know, it can be useful out in the field, I guess, if you're nowhere near an ASOS station or don't have internet and need to know what the relative humidity is, which I cannot for the life of me think of any situation where that would happen. It's like I can see, like, oh, it's probably relevant to farming and stuff, but like farmers, they can just check it before they leave in the morning on their internet at home, or on they probably have phones. They almost certainly have phones. Tight right turn. Oh, Apophis just tapped the brakes there for me. Easy, buddy. Easy. It's not that tight of a turn. Alright, so we're gonna, like, Apophis kind of freaked out there, so we're actually gonna do the next one at 55. Assuming it is another 60 mile an hour turn. This one's a 50 mile an hour turn. Let's just bring it way down here. It's apparently a much tighter turn. The gravel hauler went through here flying, but he also was empty, so he's long gone. Don't even see him anymore. He's just like vanished into the distance. Nope, there he is. I see him. I see his silhouette against the green field with like little bits of snow everywhere. This is beautiful country out here. I love driving like these little 2-lane roads out in this part of Colorado. This is because this road also happens to be a really great way to avoid Denver. So if you ever happen to be going, we've done a whole video on this entire road, so I'm going to wrap it up soon because you've seen this part already. If you do happen to be in the trucking industry and you want to just not go through Denver and avoid paying the toll on the loop road, like if you're going from Interstate 25 down to I-70, instead of doing that, when you get to Cheyenne, instead of turning off onto, instead of taking 25 down into Colorado, you take 25 down to the exit where the truck stops are, and then you turn left at the truck stops, and you take Wyoming Highway 225. It's kind of a loop highway that goes around Cheyenne, and that connects over to US 85. You can also just take Interstate 80 directly into town and get on US 85, but it's so much easier to just take the loop road from the truck stops over to it. There's just way fewer intersections, way less traffic, and it's a much better turn designed for trucks to get onto 85. Because that road was actually like built with trucks in mind, and not just like an artifact of when the interstates were built back in the 70s, the 60s and 70s. So yeah, you get on 85 going south down to Greeley, Colorado. In Greeley, Colorado, you get on 34 going east. And I know your GPS will probably try to make you use, it'll try and convince you to take the 34 business loop between the 85 bypass and the 34 bypass. But honestly, just stay on the 85 bypass all the way down to 34. There's a little cloverleaf ramp that goes up to 34, and it's way easier. It's way easier. There's fewer stoplights, and it's a higher speed limit once you're on 34. So get on 34 going east. 34 will take you to Interstate 76 near Fort Morgan. You'll cruise through the way station there, and that one does have pre-pass, which is awesome because a lot of times you end up out in the middle of nowhere and you end up going through way stations that don't have pre-pass. So if they're open, you gotta go in. But no, that one's on an interstate, so it has pre-pass. And then you get to the opposite side of Fort Morgan. You go through the town of Brush, and then there's a little connector road that I forget the numbered exit, but it's got a sign on it that says this road goes to U.S. Highway 6 and U.S. 34. So you take that down to 34, and you continue east on 34 all the way to the city of Ray, where we just were, and then you can hop on 385 going south. 385 will take you back down to I-70 in Burlington. It's not that much longer. It's like almost the exact same number of miles. We're catching up with a car. I do see that. He's slowing down. Let's throw on our engine brakes because he's probably about to turn and we don't want to run into him. Expedite your turn, please. And clear the highway. All right, cruise control back on. Back up to 65. That's where the gravel guy, the empty hopper, the rock hopper. It's a rock hopper. Went down that road. But yeah, 385 down to I-70. It's not that much longer than taking 25 down to 470 and 470 down to 70. It's almost the same distance, and it saves you so much time not having to deal with Denver traffic. It saves you money not having to pay the toll on 470. It is a good road. Good road. There's a Love's in Brush, Colorado on I-76 if you need fuel anywhere on that route. That's the best spot. Of course, there's also a TA Express in Fort Morgan, as well as a couple of independent truck stops if those are more your speed. There's no Pilot Flying J's on that route, so fill up in Cheyenne like I did if that's your preferred brand of fuel. Fuel. That's a weird word. Fuel. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It's good. I am an alien. I do not understand the human words. They're strange to me. There's a book series I used to read when I was a kid, and one of the characters would just like play with words sometimes because in his species he didn't have a mouth. So when he was human, he had a mouth, and he thought that was wonderful. Oh, axe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Ellie O'Dare. You can find me on the internet at Ellie O'Dare on Twitter, Xbox Live, Steam, Instagram, Nintendo Switch. If you want to say hi. You can also just leave comments below the videos. That's the best place to get a hold of me if you're already on the YouTubes. But of course, you can also say hi on Twitter. I check that all the time, so that's a great way to get something in front of my eyeballs as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye! Ooh, here's the cool scenery bit. Here's where I'm just going to let it keep recording over this little hill, and then magnificent rolling hills. Actually, this makes sense. I bet, this feature is where the whatever fancy rocks that are worth money come from. This little river valley thing here, like canyon-esque thing. Look at this. That's beautiful. That's gorgeous. Thank you guys so much for watching. I said that already. Have a great day. I said that already too. Bye.